All right, we are live. I am late, but I'm live. It looks like some destinations won't get comments. So, welcome everyone that made it. Let's turn this on back here. Yeah, my name is Rilus Dana and Associates at Mott Legal. So I'm just yeah, it's been a week. It has been a week. One of those weeks. Lots happened. We have no internet in our Mesa office, so I was there today. I was planning on doing the broadcast there, but that didn't work out. So I came back to the Scottsdale office and running a few minutes late to get started. So we'll see if this works and where it's actually streaming at. Yeah, it's been a week. No internet. Trying to get some stuff done at the Mesa office this morning, and we had a couple clients show up, even though we're closed. So it's just been kind of an interesting week. So let me get my materials up that I wanted to show, and I'm actually gonna have to. I'll make some of them up. I'll make it up as we go. So, hi Stephanie, thanks for watching. So we got some comments working. So that's good to know. So today's topic, what I'll do, I want to review what we talked about the last couple of weeks, and then today what I want to talk about is questions to ask your estate planning attorney. So this is how you should find an estate planning attorney. And I also want to talk about what value they provide, what attorneys actually do, and what are the reasons that you should hire an attorney. So that's going to be today's topic. Let's see here. Agenda. Let's go ahead and share my screen. I'll show you what I'm working on over here. I'll bring my screen in here. So this was the agenda last week. So last time we talked about digital asset trust, digital assets, reviewed what to do if you're an executor. So let's review the last 2 week topics: digital assets, digital asset trust, and then today we'll talk about the new topic. Today is questions to ask your estate attorney. We're going to talk about today. So the topics the last couple of weeks was how to preserve your digital photos and videos. And then last week we talked more specifically about what are digital assets. So that means your information that's being stored electronically is what your digital assets are. And let's go through this digital asset trust as a review. So here's our friend, Mr. Estate. He's got, he's the trustor, the trustee, and the beneficiary of his digital asset trust. It designates who's the trustee, who the successor trustee is after he's gone or incapacitated, and who will receive his digital assets. So the digital asset trust, you give directions over your electronic information, over those accounts, to either copy, share, or delete those accounts. So things that you keep on your computer and your phone, electronically and digitally, if you want a way to pass those on, the digital asset trust is a way to do that. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen. So what I want to talk about, I didn't get a chance to make the PowerPoint presentation, but the materials I want to go over, go old school. These are questions to ask your estate planning attorney. We put these, we made a brochure out of these topics. The first question, let's go ahead. I am going to do it on the screen. So let's share my screen. Okay, so this is questions to ask your estate attorney. So the first thing, before we start even asking questions to an attorney, why are you looking for an attorney? So in any practice area, whatever you're looking for, what do you want the attorney to do? The legal world's changed quite a bit in the last 10, 20 years. It used to be that if you had a legal question, attorneys had all the information. You had to go to an attorney to get an answer to your question. Now with the internet and the information that's available, there's information out there. So the service that an attorney provides, it's actually service. It's not just a document. It's not just providing you a document. But the reason you hire an attorney or any skilled professional is for their advice. So the first question that I want you to ask when you're looking for an estate planning attorney is ask them, do you do trust administration and probate work? Okay, so trust administration, that means that's the process of helping the successor trustee become appointed after the creator of the trust passes away. So if you're seeking someone to help you set up your own plan, they should know how it works after someone passes away. They should know what probate is like. They should know what it's like to administer a trust. I see a lot of bad drafting, and by sometimes attorneys who don't practice in probate and trust administration at all. So they'll write whatever people want into a will, not realizing that it could be a bad idea. A common example of this that I see is that when they name multiple beneficiaries of a trust or a will, but not thinking of the consequences of the cost to administer that. So a trustee has a duty to report to every beneficiary of the trust. So if you name, if you want 1% to go to all 25 of your grandkids, that means all 25 of those grandkids would have to be contacted, and that all of them are entitled to an accounting. And that can be difficult, just dealing with that many beneficiaries. So the first thing to look at, if you're going to hire someone to design your plan, they should have a good idea of what they're doing, not just creating a plan, but how they actually work when someone passes away. So that's the first question to ask. Number two, second question that you should ask is, what does good customer service mean to them? And I guess as part of this question as well, if you're shopping for an attorney, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the lowest price? Well, what do you think you might get for that price? So if you're just looking for a will for cheap or a trust for cheap, you can find them online for free. Just Google a little bit harder. You can find those things. So this question kind of goes both ways. Ask the attorney, what does good customer service mean to them? But before, you should ask for yourself, what kind of experience are you looking for? Now, something we pride ourselves on at Dana & Associates, what I tell people, if you call our phone, someone should answer. It's not going to be me, but you'll get someone, or you'll get a call back fairly soon. That's because I have a team to help me. A couple of paralegals, legal assistants, receptionists. That way we can provide the service, we can give quick answers to clients when they call, and we can help them with their problems. So that's something to consider. The attorney, they may quote you a low price, but is it just a one-man show? If you call the phone, are they going to answer? How long is it going to take to get a call back? What is the experience going to be like? So that's the second thing to look at. Third thing is, do you include language or digital assets? Okay, you guys watching this, you know what digital assets are. You're informed because you watch some of our other content. You may know that digital assets is your information that's being stored on your behalf electronically. Now, Arizona passed a law, the Fiduciary Access to Digital Asset Act. It was passed by Arizona in 2016, California in 2017, and I believe most of the states have now passed this. It's surprising to me how I don't see other attorneys talking about this. It's really important to, since our information is now being stored electronically. Are you guys getting paper statements? Are you guys, what's coming in the mail by paper? Or is your important information coming electronically by email? Even if you're getting everything by mail and on paper, what are your kids using? What is the next generation using? How are we going to transfer that information? So ask them if they have a plan to, for your email. What happens to your email? How will important information get accessed? What happens to the pictures and videos on your phone? Do they have a way to preserve those? Now, as our Mott Legal proprietary process, we have our digital asset trust that allows you to provide specific instructions for your email, iCloud account, Google Photo, Amazon Photo, any of those things. You can give specific instructions on what you want to have happen. Okay, the next thing, do you have a way to access original documents online? Okay, so again, going back to how is information stored today? Are you storing it by paper and physically or digitally? So all of our plans come with, they get delivered. Let me grab it. So you get a nice physical place to put a nice binder. And then we also include what we call the digital vault. So if you go to, let's go into Safari. Over here, I'll pull up our website. I wanted to show you. So here's our website. And right here, this digital vault, this is the login page. So all of our plans include a license. It's powered by EverPlans. So you get login credentials. And then that allows you to decide who you want to access your documents and when you want them to access that information. So we provide a good physical way and then a good digital way as well. So that's a question to look for. Is there a way to access documents online and to transfer that information? All right, next question. This is the last question I want you to ask is, do you set aside time to help fund trust? Fund. I'll put that in quotes because no one knows what it means. What does it mean to fund a trust? What we mean by that, we mean that after you create a trust, we mean changing the ownership of your house into that. We mean how to change the beneficiaries on your life insurance and your 401k. Who should the beneficiary be? Should it be your trust? Should it be your kids? Should it be your spouse? It's different in every situation. So we've created an extra meeting. We call it the trust asset coordination session. This occurs after you have signed your documents and you've already received. So now that we're doing it virtually, we mail everything. So you have the original copies in front of you, and then you meet with the attorney and we'll go through it together. And we'll talk about what your homework is, meaning, how to change your life insurance, how to change the beneficiaries on your retirement accounts, then where to leave records of this information so the trustee can follow it. So if you're looking for an attorney, looking to get your estate plan done, those are the factors that you should look at. Find an attorney that fits all of those things. If you're an attorney yourself, make sure you can check off all those boxes. If you're doing estate planning and you can't, I got 3 on there twice. We don't need 2 3s. If you're an attorney and you want to provide these types of services to your clients, then contact us through Mott Legal. So that's why Mott Legal was created. We're going to be offering some of our systems for attorneys to use so they can provide this digital asset planning to their clients, so they can provide complete estate plans. Because without this is the important stuff, the photos and videos. Those can last for generations and generations of who you are, and a lot longer than the money will in most cases for most estates. So that's why I think it's so important that we plan for those things as well as avoiding probate. The other thing to consider as well, I'll stop sharing the screen. When choosing an attorney, again, so what are you looking for? What are you looking for what are you looking to get out of the relationship? So the people that we like to work with is people that want to have their estate plans designed. They want the help, they want the guidance, and we'll guide them through that process. For people looking for, just a will that they can do just so they can, check it off the list and say that they have it, I'd say you can look online and find it free. I've even done some videos and shown you how to write a will. So what I would recommend is write it out by hand if you want the easiest option to make sure your loved ones are protected. This is really important if your loved ones aren't they're not protected by law, meaning that if you have a significant other who you're not married to or who is not a legal child, someone that you might consider a child, but they're not legally born to you or adopted by you, that's when it's really important to plan for those people. So do it by hand. I am a fan of that. So just get started with a simple plan by hand. I state your name, leave your estate to who it is. If you write that in your own handwriting, that will be valid. But if you type it, then it's another world. If you type it up and print it out and sign it, not valid. If it's typed, you print it, sign it, have it notarized, still not valid. We need 2 witnesses. So you can have, I was just talking to this with Lori, my paralegal. We have a situation where it's a potential client brought to us what they thought was a will, but it's a valid will because it's missing the 2 signatures. Now, if you have a typed will, 1 witness, 1 notary, that is a valid will because that's 2 witnesses. The notary can count as a second witness. So once you type up a will, then you have to deal with the formalities. So that's why I recommend if you're doing just a simple Band-Aid or insurance policy, as I call them, write it out by hand to make sure that it's valid. If you want your plan done by a professional that can take you through all the details that we do, then give us a call. Let's see, I'll put up our little banner, a little ticker. There we go. So give us a call to schedule your personal family legal session. This is a meeting with one of our attorneys where they'll review your situation. They'll see what you're looking for. Most of the time what people are looking for is to avoid probate. See, I met with someone the other day. They had an old trust, And I said, what are you looking for? And he said he wants to make sure that there's just no problems. That there's not going to be. I can't remember the word he used. It was funny. I thought it would come to me, but it didn't. But he just wanted to make sure his kids were okay, and what that meant is that we avoid probate. So we looked through his documents. His case, they were actually out of state, and they were about 6 years old, and we're actually able to simplify his plan quite a bit. So he had a trust, what we call an AB trust. What that is where upon the first death, the trust splits into two different pieces. These were popular, but many times people don't need these anymore. So if you have an AB trust and you haven't had it looked at for a while, I would definitely recommend going to see an attorney, because some planning now could save your kids a lot of administration. Because if your trust says that upon the first death, the trustees shall split it into two pieces, that's what they're supposed to do. Now, it rarely happens. That's what creates more problems when if the surviving spouse doesn't split it into two pieces. Then they come see me later down, and we have to figure out what to do. We can still help them with that, but it's easier just to simplify it from the beginning. The other thing I'll talk about simplifying and finding an attorney is, I guess, going back to that customer service question. What does good customer service mean to them? Now, you may hear me, or I've talked about what I call the old school attorneys, or there was a different approach. Before the internet and that different generation, when the attorneys controlled all the information, they didn't have to be good. They could provide horrible service, but because they controlled the information, the public had to go through them. That's not the case anymore. There's still some attorneys that are stuck in this, and what I mean by that, it's their philosophy to try to confuse the clients. This is where you'll see trust and legal documents where they're overly complicated, is how I would describe them. Like, I'm pretty good at this stuff, I would say, but if I have a hard time reading the trust, and if it takes me a while, how much harder is that for the public? So what I take pride on, one of the things that I take pride on through our legal processes, is how efficient our documents are. They're shorter, they're more straightforward, because we're not trying to confuse. We're not trying to make the public rely on this. We want to make this as easy as possible. For those that want to utilize our services, we can help them. And for their next generation, we want to make it easy enough where the successor trustee does not have to get an attorney. I still would advise that they do, but I'm not going to try to overly complicate things and make things harder than they need to be. So again, just going into that philosophy when you're searching for an attorneys, some try to create that dynamic where they're above you and smarter than you, and they build in the complications just so you need. So that's something that I would look for as well, and I would avoid that. Those are the attorneys I see, or we hear the stories from the clients how they get horrible service and they're upset, and then they also pay large fees. So so it all starts with what you're looking for, and then asking the questions to make sure your attorney in that law firm is suited to provide you with what you need for a complete estate plan. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Look forward to our the new format. We're going to have some guests on in the future. I reached out to several different exciting guests, so we'll start getting those scheduled. We'll have some real estate professionals coming, some financial advisors, some attorneys in different practice areas, some home health providers, people that can help you with if you need to get a loved one placed into a care center. So those are some of the upcoming topics that we'll be discussing on Friday. Anything else you'd like to hear us talk about, leave a comment or send us an email. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.